There's a character in Invincible. Every time he shows up, you already know what's about to happen. Not because he looks weak, but because somehow it always ends the same way. And the weird part is, the more you watch him, the less that makes sense. That character is the Immortal, and on paper, he shouldn't be this guy. Oldest hero alive, lived through centuries, leader of the Guardians. This isn't some background character. This is someone who, in any other story, would be the one saving everybody else. But here, every time he steps in, it feels like he's walking into something already decided. And at first, we didn't question it. Because we've seen characters like that before. The ones who are just there. They show up in fights, they throw a punch or two, maybe get a line or a moment, but nothing really changes. Take them out of the story, and everything still plays out the same exact way. You don't remember them, they're just background characters. So it would make sense to look at Immortal and put him in that same place. But then something doesn't sit right, because every time he shows up, something does change. The moment gets heavier, the stakes feel higher, it feels like something important is about to happen. That's not how useless characters work. So now you're stuck with this weird feeling like he's not useless, then why does it always end the same way? So you go back, the Guardians, their first fight. Everything feels normal at first. They're together, coordinated, it looks like a real team. And then Omni-Man starts moving different. There's no speech, no warning, something's off. And then people start dropping. Fast, one after another. And in the middle of all that, the Immortal steps in. He doesn't hesitate. He goes straight at Omni-Man, and for a second, everything slows down because now it feels like someone might actually stop this. They're trading blows, he's keeping up, he's pushing him, and you catch yourself thinking, okay, this might be where it changes, and then doesn't, it just ends. And the story keeps moving on. New heroes, new problems. Everything continues like nothing happened, and you move on too, because that's what you're used to. But then he comes back. And now you're watching differently because this time you expect something to change. Maybe he slows down, maybe he thinks, approaches it differently, but he doesn't. He goes in the same exact way and it somehow ends in the same exact way. Now it's not just a loss, it's a pattern. And you start asking a different question. Not why is he weak, but why does this keep happening? Because if it happens once, that's just the story. But twice, in the same way, with the same outcome, now it feels like something is being shown to you. At first you think, maybe it's just Omni-Man. Maybe he's that strong. And that makes sense, because every time he's involved, everything falls apart. So maybe the Immortal is just there to show how far above everyone else Omni-Man really is. But then, why bring him back? Why repeat it? Why show the same thing twice? That's when it starts feeling like it's not just about Omni-Man anymore. And that's when you notice it's not just him. Mark goes through it too. Early on, he's trying, he's pushing himself, getting stronger, and still getting destroyed. He's experienced, he's trained, but it doesn't matter. Different characters and different moments with the same outcome. And that's when it clicks. In the world of Invincible, it doesn't work the way you expect it to. It doesn't move like most stories, and effort doesn't guarantee anything. And experience does not protect you either. Suddenly, the Immortal starts making sense. Not as a weak character, but as someone doing everything he knows how to do. In a world where that is not enough anymore. He doesn't hesitate and he doesn't doubt. He goes forward every time, and the world answers the same way. And maybe that's why it feels so frustrating to watch him, because you're waiting for him to change something, but he doesn't. Not because he can't, but because that's not who he is. In any other world, that would be enough. That would make him the one people rely on. He keeps running into something that doesn't bend. And no matter how many times he comes back, he meets it the same way. And you realize something else. He's not here to win. He's here to show you what happens when someone strong ends up in a world where strength doesn't decide anything. And once you see that, you can't unsee it.